Smith, and welcome to Victory MMA.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Too Much to Ask. I am your guest host today, David Payne, and today we have a little treat. Sitting next to me, some of you may have known him as a Gigantor.
Yeah.
Some of you may
I own that name.
Some of you may have known him as the good guy.
Yeah.
Some may have even known him as the specialist.
Yeah, that's old school.
Yeah, right. And I think a fan favorite was Chocolate Thunder.
Oh yeah, Chocolate Thunder.
Yeah, you're like, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Everybody love that. Yeah.
But to us around here, we just know him as Gil. So welcome our special guest, Gilbert Smith. To the show.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. I just want to make one thing known. Like, I didn't ask for you to be the host. You know, I was hoping it was going to be Jason.
Okay.
Jason he does a really great job. I don't know why they picked you. But I guess we're gonna do it anyways.
I think I was picked for a specific reason.
Okay, all right,
you know what I mean? I see the concern on your face already.
Nah, I'm not concerned. I was like, damn. So we just gonna downgrade like that?
Well, first, okay, we'll just start off with from what I know of the fight industry, right? Is your name is supposed to be given to you,
right?
You're not supposed to select your own name; it's supposed to be given to you. So you've had a multitude of different names, as you've mentioned before. Who, if anybody, gave you those names, and where did they come from?
I mean, that's a good question. The first one, Gigantor, actually came from Bumpy Johnson. What is his last name? I can't remember.
Bumpy. Shout out to Bumpy.
Yeah. He actually, my first amateur fight, he asked me, "What's my name? What's my fight name?" I was like, I don't know. You know, I don't really have one. And then, you know, in the middle, like right before I fought, he's like, "Gilbert Gigantor," and I looked out my corner. I was like, "Where the fuck did that come from?"
So he did that on his own.
Right. He came up with that.
Okay.
The rest of other names, those names were kind of earned in the background. You know what I'm saying? I can't really talk about that because this is still a family show.
Okay, so let's talk about the one then. The good guy. The good guy was earned. How was that earned?
Yeah. So I was having dinner with an ex-girlfriend, and she was going over my names, and she didn't like them. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She was like, "Well, they all seem like stripper names. It seemed very sexualized." I said, "Whoa, calm down. I'm the good guy. Like you can't get mad at the good guy."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "You know what? I'm going with the good guy."
That's smooth.
Yeah.
Okay, the specialist?
Yeah. The specialist because I was submitting everybody.
Oh, okay. So specialist being Brazilian.
Yeah. I was everybody I fought, and I was winning submission. So even
nice.
and not even like in just MMA fights, but also like jiu-jitsu tournaments. Like I was like, if I won a match, it's because I submitted them.
Oh, okay.
Like I try not to leave it in the judges or points, whatever. I'm looking to finish the fight.
So you specialize.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now, who is responsible for Chocolate Thunder?
Yeah, man. You know, like I said, I can't really say. I mean, I could say, but I don't want to say.
No, we here. Say it.
Yeah, well,
say it.
It was
Come on now.
It was a friend. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't engaging in certain activities, and you know, and she was like, you know, she liked that Chocolate Thunder. You know what I mean?
I think we get it.
You get it? You get
All
it?
right,
Get
so
it? Got it good.
I'm guessing that one would be your favorite. If I'm wrong, which one?
Nah, I actually really love Power Stroke.
Power Stroke. I forgot about that one.
Right.
Power Stroke.
And the reason why I love it because it sounds super weird, but I got that from I saw a truck, and I think it's like the F350 or something, and it has like a Power Stroke engine, and it's like a label on it. And I was like, I'm gonna go by Power Stroke, and I just love because when people say it is a weird, crazy name, but I love the fact that when I won the belt for the RFA, the announcer had to say Power Stroke on live TV, and that just makes me giggle.
It makes you giggle.
Yeah,
so did you giggle as
you
announced?
He was like, because I won that fight, right?
Yeah,
and it was like Gilbert Power Stroke Smith. It's funny. I was waiting for that moment, so I was like,
the little stroke of the ego.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, speaking of that, you mentioned winning the RFA belt. In the MMA world, you've made it to a level that a lot of local guys would aspire to make it to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking of Tough.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I want to go back before that to your fight right before you got to that point. And I want you to speak to the anxiety or nerves, if you will, of going from a lower level promotion, with the nerves that coincide with that, all the way to straight to the big lights of the Mandalay Bay.
Right. And you and I talked about that. See, so the problem is, like, I could talk about it now, but at the moment, I didn't realize the effect that it was going to have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just thought a fight is a fight.
Right.
If I'm fighting locally in Colorado Springs or if I'm fighting in Las Vegas, Mandalay Bay. And at the time, it didn't really make a difference to me. But it did have a subconscious effect on me. Because I fought a Bobby Lashley show against a guy named TJ Nunley, who at the time, a local show who at the time had he didn't have a great record, and it was a win that I wanted, because honestly, I was just trying to build my record.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And people was turning me down, so I was like, I'll fight anybody. And with this guy that his skill set really wasn't there, so I was like, it's gonna be an easy win.
Right.
So I've no offense to TJ, I don't know if you're ever gonna see this, but I was fighting not a very good guy and a local small promotion to fighting a high level guy and the biggest promotion. And at the time, I was like, I could just do it. I could easily make that transition.
And I think that's how people watching on TV just see it. They just you were introduced to them on that stage, so they just assume that it's supposed to be easy work for you. That's your job.
Exactly. And looking back at it, hindsight, it was a big jump that I think mentally and emotionally I was not ready for. Okay. And that's why I believe I didn't do as well as I could have. And no offense, once again, to my coaches, because they did the best that they could do. But I didn't even have the coaching staff to get me ready. I had really good friends. I had people that were specialized in certain things like boxing or jiu-jitsu. But none of them actually fought MMA or even fought at a high level.
Or to put it all together.
To put it all together helped me. So essentially I was almost coaching myself because I had to put it together myself. And then I was fighting a guy that had a huge record in the biggest promotion. It was a big jump. And as you saw, I wasn't as successful as I wanted to be.
And we're talking about the Bubba McDaniels.
Yeah, the Bubba McDaniels fight.
Right. So feeling unprepared going into that.
But that's the thing. I didn't.
You didn't feel
what I'm saying? After the loss, I look back and I'm like, what happened? Because you go in there with so much ego, like I'm gonna go smash. You have to be. I always tell fighters, you have to be semi-delusional going into the fight. You can't go into a fight thinking you're gonna lose or this guy's better than you, then you're gonna lose. If you're thinking it's gonna happen. So I went into it thinking I was prepared, thinking I had everything I needed. I trained my ass off, and everything was great. And then I lost, and then I looked back and I was like, where was I lacking? And then you could just kind of pinpoint. You could see my movement. You could see how my conditioning was. You could see how I was thinking, and you could just look at it and I was not ready.
You weren't. But you said that you were ready, but you weren't ready.
Right.
So explain.
At the time,
you were ready, but you weren't ready.
At the time, I thought I was ready.
Right.
Until you feel the next level, and then you're like, oh shit, I wasn't ready.
So the venue, the lights,
like
kind of not starstruck you, but
I told you, man, walking out and I was looking up on the ceiling and seeing all the Hall of Famers. I saw people screaming, people yelling at me. They're like, I walked past all Bubba McDaniel's family. They was like, "You gonna die, boy." They all from like Texas too, so I kind of had probably like a second meaning to it.
Yeah, string them up.
Nah,
I'm joking, Bubba.
But I mean, Bubba's the homie. But like, they was like screaming at me. And I've never felt that.
Okay.
And then I go in the cage, I'm looking around, and then the funniest thing, they put me on the main card. Understand this. I literally thought I was gonna be like one of the first or second fights.
Okay.
I thought I was gonna like the crowd was gonna be semi-empty.
Right.
And I only learned about this. I was flying to Vegas, and Marquise, you remember Marquise McKnight?
Marquise McKnight. Shout out Marquise.
Yeah, he hit me up and he was like, "Yo, you on the main card?" And I was like, "What?"
That's how you found out.
Yeah.
Wow.
As I landed, I checked my phone. And I was like, and I had a text from him. I was like, "What? You crazy? No.
Yeah.
I'm Gilbert Smith, 5-1 as a pro. They're not gonna put me on the main card." And I don't know why they decided to. I think because the beef between me and Bubba McDaniel was like a highlight of the season.
Okay.
So they put me in the main card, and I was like I don't know why that also fucked with me.
That bothered you.
Yeah, because like I was hoping I was gonna fight with the crowd kind of empty, so I could get it out the way, and like the pressure, everybody screaming, it was super new to me, man. Super new.
Wow. Okay. And that fight was at what weight class?
It was at 85.
85. That's middleweight.
Right, middleweight.
So big guys up there.
Right.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
You're 5'9".
Yeah.
Fighting at middleweight.
Right.
So for people normally think of MMA, they think of heights with the weight class. You think 5'9" would be more in the featherweight.
Featherweight,
bantamweight.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? But so I'm asking, have you always been a heavier guy? Or why didn't you think 5'9"? Why didn't you think to cut down to?
I mean, yeah, I always walked around too, even back when I was in the Army. Like the lowest weight I ever been functionally without having to cut weight was like in high school. I think I joined the Army. I was weighing like 170.
Okay.
And then after basic training and like in prep and all that stuff, I got up to about 185.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I want to bodybuild, and I got up to like 200. Like my highest was 217.
Okay.
So like making 155 or 145 is just like is not possible
because of the bodybuilding aspect of it.
Right. But also
cut
like,
that out.
I mean, like I'm 5'9", but I got really long limbs. Like my reach is 75 inches. I got a reach of someone that's 6'3".
Okay. So you feel good in the middleweight.
Right. I never felt like I always felt like I gave up reach and advantage, but I never felt like I was weaker. And it wasn't just I fought at 185. It was the people I trained with.
Yeah. That
was also 185, if not above.
Okay. And you have since retired.
Yeah.
What brought that decision on?
So coming out of, first of all, I tell you some truth. So I got signed to Bellator 2016, and I wasn't happy that I did not get re-signed to the RFA. I felt like I got slighted from them. I mean to the UFC. I felt like I did everything I needed to do to get re-signed back to the UFC, and they just did not want to sign me. I was coming off 2 big wins, winning the RFA belt and defending. In the first round, I won it by armbar. Second round, I won because I broke the guy's jaw. I was like, yo, everybody that wins this belt get signed.
Yeah.
I didn't get signed. So they sent me to Bellator. And I remember thinking, like, and this is my ignorance, right? I was like, man, I don't want to be here. I wasn't happy. I was like, I signed to Bellator because they put some money on the table. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take the money, but I really don't want to be here. And you could tell just by my demeanor, like, I didn't like appreciate it. So then I'm losing 2 fights in a row. So then I get cut. At that time, I was like, 36. I was like, what the fuck I'm going to do? Like, the UFC don't want to sign me.
Right.
Even when I was winning, they didn't want to sign me. I just lost 2 fights in Bellator. They ain't going to sign me.
Right.
So, like, at that point, I was like, I always say that I want to fight to be the best, to get somewhere. I don't want to fight just to be fighting just because, I need the money, or I just want the fame, or I just can't let it go. So I was like, well, I'm going to focus on something I think is going to be more productive, which is taking my experience, the good, bad, and ugly, and passing it on to the next generation.
Okay. And that was the reasoning behind your retirement.
Yes, yeah.
But we've heard it through the grapevine that you may be thinking about strapping up again.
I would love to, man. I don't know if it's going to happen, man. I've been contacting the LFA because that's like the only organization I kind of would fight for.
Okay.
Especially because they come in here to Colorado. I won their belt. I retired with them. They have a great promotion. They have great production. And I hit him up, and Sven Bean, he said he's gonna look into it. I haven't heard anything, but I feel like this is the only time I can fight because my current girlfriend is pregnant, and I feel like once the baby comes, like I gotta focus on that. And I'm gonna be 41 this year, so the baby comes, I'm gonna be 41. I spend another year or two focusing on that and trying to run this business, this gym. But now I'll be 42, 43, hitting 44. There's no way I'm coming back at that point.
Right. So you feel like it's more of a now or never type deal.
Right.
Okay. Well, we'll be right back. After these commercial breaks and a special sponsor from Alpha Black Label. Hello and welcome back to Too Much to Ask. We're back with Gilbert Smith here. And I want to get into your backstory. Let's get into the origins of Gilbert Smith. Where is Gilbert from?
All right, well, I was born in Jersey City, New Jersey. I lived in Jersey City. I lived in New York with my father. I even lived in some time in Maryland, you know what I'm saying, in PG County. And then I just went back and forth because my mother and my father was never together, right? So, like, my mother tried raising me, and I was too much for her, so she sent me to my father. Then me and my father would get into some beef. Then he sent me back to my mother. And then me and my mother would, like, get into it. She kicked me out, literally kicked me out, sent me back to my father. And my father, he kind of moved back and forth between Jersey and New York. So, like, those two places, like Lower East Side Manhattan and Jersey City, is, like, been my home. And
so you were more of a problem child then?
Man, I was a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Wow, okay. Do you attribute that to the area that you grew up in, or was it just you?
All right, so here's the real, like, shout out to my moms, shout out to my father. They did the best that they could, but they raised me without guidance.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They tried to teach me right from wrong, but, like, I didn't have that guidance. Like, my father didn't teach me how to drive. He didn't take me to the basketball court, show me these things. He didn't, like, he worked and he paid the bills.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, to sit me down and have these tough conversations and let me know right from wrong, like, we didn't have a lot of those conversations. So I learned on the streets. Like, I was looking for, like, that type of big brother, that big uncle, that like almost somebody father figure, in the sense of, like, he's gonna give me that guidance. And a lot of times I got it from the wrong place.
Right. Unfortunately, a lot of inner city youth experience.
Yeah. And because my father just had to work. Like, and the thing is, he used to work from 3 to 12. So, like, he worked the graveyard shift. So I would come home from school, he's going to work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't even around during the time I was off from school, the time I lived with him.
Okay.
My mother, on the other side, she was almost the same way. She used to work 2 to 3 jobs. She'd go from one job to the other job to the other job. So a lot of time, me and my brother, we sit home and babysit ourselves. You know how it is. You know how it is back in the day when you like first grade, second grade. My mom would leave, like, hey, don't answer the door.
Right.
Because she technically, by law, she shouldn't leave us home alone.
Right.
But she had to, because, like, she had to make money to pay the bills.
Right.
So, like, we never got that guidance. So it was like I had to learn stuff on the streets.
Oh, okay. So with that, I wanna get a little bit the name Gilbert.
Right.
You know what I mean? Did your parents ever tell you where that came from? Is it like a family name?
Yeah, I'm a junior. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be honest with you, it's kind of a funny story. My mother and my father, for some reason, thought I was gonna be a girl. They're like, he had this name. I think it was like Tiffany, something like that. And then, like, for some reason, they didn't.
Tiffany.
Tiffany, right. It's like, come on, man. You couldn't name Amber and like Tiffany. Anyways, you know what I'm saying. So when I came out as a boy, they had no name. So they was like, The name was Junior, Gilbert Smith Jr. Like they didn't even give me a middle name.
So they weren't, and shout out to Gilbert's parents, they weren't necessarily wanting you. That's what I got from that.
No, they wanted me, but they was like,
I think they wanted a Tiffany.
Right.
They
You know
don't want Gilbert.
Yeah, and instead they got a Hellraiser.
All right, okay. So I was introduced to you years back as Jamal.
Right.
So Jamal isn't part of your name at all.
No, not at all.
So why Jamal? Where did that come from?
It happened in 7th grade, man. I used to get made fun of so much for my name Gilbert. I used to get cracked on. I used to get bullied. I used to get a lot of jokes. You know, it's nothing worse like the first day of school. You go to the first day of school, and what happens? The new teacher, she's like going on a roll
Right.
call. She's like, John, raise your hand. Timothy, raise your hand. Larry, raise your hand.
Gilbert.
And then like Gilbert, and then everybody's like, who's named
Gilbert?
Gilbert? Like Gilbert? Like Gilbert Godfrey?
Right.
Like and then when the movie What's Eating Gilbert Grape came out, yo, my whole like childhood was done. Right? So by the 7th grade, I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
my name is Jamal. You know what I'm saying? I said that with a lot of emphasis. And people like, you look like,
Mal.
yeah, they say, you look like a Jamal. I don't look like a Gilbert. So everybody kind of ran with it to the point that like it happened so much. Like everybody was calling me Gilbert. So now my own mother was calling me, Jamal. My own mother was calling me Jamal.
Wow. Okay. So Jamal essentially became an alter ego.
I won't say an alter ego. It became like it's almost like Gilbert was the alter ego. You know what I'm saying? Like Jamal.
Gilbert was the alter ego.
Yeah, it's like Jamal was who I was. You got saying from 7th grade all the way up to like 2019, I went by Jamal.
So you buried who you were from being bullied or whatnot, and
Yeah.
became this new person that was
If you think
accepted,
about
not
it,
bullied.
yeah. If you think about it, by 7th grade, you don't really know who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like so as I'm trying to find my swagger and find my style and who I want to be, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna be Jamal. And everybody got a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? They could see me.
And that's what you had to go through. That's what you had.
Yeah.
That's the face you had to carry.
Right. I mean, you gotta understand, man. Listen, you probably was raised in a nice neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Here we go. That's some old banter back and forth.
You know, you probably raised in a you see the difference between him and I. Like, he was raised in a community. You know, he had a community.
I guarantee you. I guarantee. Okay, go ahead.
But like in my hood, it's like people like you cannot just let people make fun of you. Like you get punked and it just never stop. Like that's why people do drastic things. So I thought the easiest thing was to create a persona that people could respect.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And they don't question Jamal. You know what I'm saying? If I walk up
Question the hell out of Gilbert.
yeah, like who's Gilbert? Like, you know what I'm saying? And people not used to that name. And anybody ever had that name, and like that's a celebrity, was kind of nerdy. Like, even like the old movie called Nerds.
Okay.
And the one nerd was named Gilbert. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody that had the name Gilbert, it was just made fun of. So like, I couldn't
So
have
you had to get away from that.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. And so now, growing up, before MMA was a thing, MMA didn't become a thing till mid '90s.
No, I mean, shit didn't really come a thing to like Ultimate Fighter, which was 2005.
Okay, so throughout the '90s, without MMA, what was Gilbert aspiring to be? What would Gilbert be if not for mixed martial arts?
Man, back in the day, I wanted to be a rapper. You heard? You know what I'm saying?
You want to be a rapper?
Yeah, man. I had like back in the day, I had skills, man. It was like,
All right, spit a little something for us. Let us hear us a little something.
You want me to spit
A
something?
little something.
Yo, here we go. Yo, they call me Genesis the Dawn, spitting rhyme particles of lyrical ions, lacing gauze and nylon, hotter than neon to keep you off of enemy sidelines. If you see mines, just pass it, cause I'm quick to react like gutter boy tripping off of acid. I stampede on your ass like Jurassic. That's what you get for being a player-hating bastard. Yeah, that's the old. I wrote that back in high school. I still remember it.
Genesis the Dawn.
Yeah. That's what you used to call me, Genesis the Dawn.
I think mixed martial arts was a better. I think
Probably.
you went down the right path.
Yeah, right. You're probably right about that.
Right.
Yeah.
So after that, you said your childhood area was a little rough. You ended up joining the military.
Yeah.
Correct. What prompted that decision?
I wasn't going nowhere, man. I'm gonna tell you some things. Like, one of these days I'm gonna post my high school transcript. My high school transcript, like my sophomore year, had straight Fs. Straight Fs. I did not go to school. I was failing. For me to even graduate high school for my senior year, I had to. My mom, she'd tell you, I had to go to Saturday morning school, Saturday school, early morning school, night school. I had to do so much to make up credit because I failed my sophomore year.
Just to graduate.
Yeah, just to graduate. And I remember thinking when I was going to graduate, I was like, what the hell am I going to do? Go back to the block? Like, I mean, I had nothing going on. So I was like, boom, I'm joining the Army.
Joining the Army. Okay. And so, because where I'm from,
right,
like you said, the military was the last thing any cool kid wanted to do. You know what I mean? If you joined the military, it's because you was a square, you was bum.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we flipped it because I was like, I'm joining the Army. I'm like, I'm going to be doing some ninja stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go out there. I'm going to learn how to shoot. You know, like, it was a little different back then because nobody knew anything about the Army besides movies.
Did you do any of the ninja stuff?
Nah, I was a computer nerd. I was smart.
So you joined being hard. I'm going to be a ninja.
Yeah. Until somebody schooled me and told me not to do it.
Oh, okay. Bet. So, with that being said, we'll be right back after a short, quick promotional video from Victory Mixed Martial Arts. And we are back with Gilbert Smith on Too Much to Ask. Now, from my understanding, you were married pretty young.
Yeah. I met my ex-wife when I was 19, and we got married. I think right after. No, it was right before I turned 21. Yeah.
Right before you. Okay. Yeah. So, and then you said your ex-wife.
Ex-wife. Yeah.
So obviously that didn't work out. How many children do you have?
I have biologically I have one, but she had 2 kids prior that I took under my wing. So I said I have 3 kids. I was my 2 oldest daughters. Like I've been in their life since it was 3 and 2. So I'm daddy. Okay,
so very young, 19, 20. You said.
Yeah.
You jumped into the role of fatherhood.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. Being like you said, 19, 20, and I already had a ready-made family. Sure, I had 2 kids, and it was difficult. I was a private in the Army, and we was always broke, and we had to find a way to make ends meet, and I bust my ass to like raise those kids and give them the best life that I possibly could.
Right. And from what I know, you did an outstanding job. I see them kids today, and they've all turned out to be great kids. So
I appreciate that.
From one father to another.
I mean, you're doing the same thing with your daughters. You got 3.
I do.
Yeah, you got 3 daughters. Like, man, good luck. They're about to hit those teenage years, bro. You getting close.
Don't tell me.
Don't
tell me. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. So, out of everything that you've mentioned before, you mentioned something earlier that I wanted to retouch. I wanted to retouch on. You mentioned that your current lady is expecting.
Yeah. Shout out to Erica.
Erica is her name.
Yeah, Erica's her name. She's a woman that came into my life, and I didn't really see that happening. And but man, she's so beautiful, and I appreciate the happiness. 2021 was a very shitty year for me.
Okay.
It was a very, very shitty year. I've went through so much and lost so much in that year, and she's the one thing that brought some light into my life.
Okay.
So yeah, she's expecting. She's about 10 weeks pregnant.
10 weeks pregnant, right?
Yeah.
And you chose to announce that to the world on a very odd time.
Yeah.
You chose to announce that you are expecting a child with Erica.
Yeah.
On April Fool's Day of all days.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
why of all days April Fool's Day?
Because I'm an idiot. You know what I'm saying? I love jokes, man. I wanted to April Fool's Day. because I knew nobody was gonna believe me, but it was actually true.
Right.
So to have people going back and forth like, wait, are you serious? Nah, you can't be. Wait, nah,
Right,
he's
I
joking.
thought you were joking.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought you were completely joking.
I don't know why that shit had me dying. Everybody didn't believe me.
I saw everybody was like, "Oh, congratulations!" I'm like, "You guys are stupid."
Yeah, yeah.
And turns out I was the one that was stupid.
Yeah.
You were serious on
Yeah.
April Fool's Day.
I don't know why. I figured if I was gonna pick a day, I was gonna pick that day, and I'm gonna have a little fun with it. You know me, and like on social media, I like to have fun with it.
Okay. So describe Erica to the viewers who are unaware of Erica.
Yeah, Erica is a educated woman. You know, she's a nurse practitioner. She was actually in the army. She was a nurse in the army. She got out as a captain. She actually don't have any kids. You know,
Her first child.
Yeah, it's her first child.
You mentioned you being 41.
Yeah, 40.
How old is she?
Right.
Let me go ahead. So,
but
continue. Got out as a captain.
You know, she's of age. I mean, she's not too much younger than me. So we both are having kids. You know, later on in life.
Okay.
She is Caucasian. She is of the
I
white
was wondering how
European descent.
How long you gonna tap dance around that?
She's literally the first. You know, it's funny because and she knows this. She's literally the first white woman that I've officially dated. You know,
okay.
I mean, I've had relations with people outside of my race, but she's the first one that I've actually
take it serious.
Yeah, took it serious and formalized a real relationship. And you know, the cool thing about it is the culture is different, and I'm learning a lot about her culture and her family, how she was raised, and she's learning a lot about my culture and how I was raised, and I think it's a really good blend.
Okay, well, you know how some people would say, I mean, some people are super pro-black,
right,
and whatnot, and
I'm super pro-black.
You're super pro-black.
Yes.
We've seen some of your Facebook posts.
Right.
How would you address those who would say to you that a white woman cannot completely relate to the plights and struggles of a black man?
Yeah, I agree with them. Like, you know, me and her have had discussions, and she will openly admit that she don't see racism because she has never had to face it.
Right. And so you being a black man, I'm pretty sure you've experienced your share of either name calling or racism to some degree, to where I go back to the movie Boys in the Hood, right? Yeah. Where Cuba Gooding Jr. comes in the house after being...
Sometimes they don't know or don't show or don't care. Yeah.
Right. But, you know, when Cuba goes into the house after being pulled over by the police officers and he's swinging at the air.
Yeah.
Dealing with his frustration with the officers, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody, people would say, per to my previous question, that if you came home in that same struggle, that Erica, being Caucasian, would not be able to relate to your pain.
Well, so you got to understand the whole thought of empathy. Like you don't have to experience something to not be able to empathize. Like, for instance, I've never been shot. But if I saw someone shot, I'd be like, damn, I feel your pain. Like, damn, I look like it hurt. Like I could understand someone's pain, although I've never been shot. I never been shot, and I've never been stabbed. I never had anything. I never lost the arm or anything. But I could understand that type of pain and struggle if you go through a circumstance like that. Okay. So although Erica may not have faced being discriminated against because she's not black, it doesn't mean she don't understand, or she's not even willing to understand. Okay. Like, we have had discussions, we have talked about things, and the fact that we're gonna have a kid that's gonna be mixed. Right. So you know, depending on how dark or light skinned our kid is, like that kid may also face in some form or fashion some type of. I mean, just the fact that her and I will walk into a room, because we go to a lot of different places all over, and a lot of times we are the only mixed couple. I'm literally the only black guy. I've had that happen a lot.
Do you feel awkward in those moments?
Sometimes I do. I mean, but I don't know if it's just in my head or if it's just the vibe. But I do look around and I'm like, damn, I'm the only black person here. Right. And she's with me. So if anybody hates me, he's gonna hate her too. Like, you know, you black guy lover. You know what I'm saying? They won't say it like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say very tactful.
But with, to give her credit, and not even just her, but her family, they have accepted me. They have asked me questions about my upbringings, and they have listened to some of the struggles. And I think what I can do more than anything is teach them, and so they can have a more open mind about some things that they may not ever really experience.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's like someone like I'm learning how to Latin dance. I'm learning their culture. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not Latino.
Wait. You're learning how to Latin dance?
Yeah, bachata.
Latin dance?
Yeah. What's wrong with that? How would you say it?
I wouldn't say Latin dance.
Okay, so how would you say it?
It's not about me. This is about you.
Okay, all right.
But
so,
you're learning how to Latin dance from a Caucasian woman?
No. I'm actually learning from because she's learning too, right?
Got it.
And she's the one that brought me into it. But with the point I'm making,
you guys are going to learn together.
Yeah. Well, she's actually started. She's been doing it for a couple of years.
Okay.
I'm doing it to bond with her on things she likes to do.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making is like sometimes you got to step out of your own comfort zone and learn other people's cultures. It doesn't mean that like
of course, sure.
I can't respect the struggle, the beauty, the good, bad, the ugly. Like it's good to like understand other people's culture, and I think she did a really good job of learning and being and sympathizing with some of the black struggles. She may never have to face it, but I think having a black kid, she probably may have to face it.
Well, kudos to Erica, man. She sounds like she's very good for you.
Yeah.
I hope the best for you and your future child coming along.
I appreciate it.
So, you guys seem to be moving along pretty fast.
Right.
You got together relatively not too long ago.
Right.
Expecting a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Have you, being that you guys are older adults, mature adults, have you made her aware, or has she been made aware of your previous infidelity issues?
This motherfucker.
I'm saying. I mean, these are conversations that need to be had, right?
Wow.
And so if you guys
what if she haven't been like?
we gonna learn today.
Nah, honestly, I've had some real open, honest conversations with her, and it's like she have told me about her past.
Okay.
But like I've told her that in prior relationships, I have made a lot of mistakes.
Right.
And then, I'm gonna tell you something funny, right? So my ex-girlfriend, who I've made some mistakes with, she is the massage therapist to a lot of her best friends, like literally best friends.
Your ex-girlfriend is a massage therapist to your current girlfriend's friends?
Best friends.
Best friends.
Right. So the connection is like, it's like if I didn't say these honest things, you know what I'm saying, she could hear from the streets.
They would come out somewhere.
Right. So I told her, I was like, listen, in my last relationship, I did cheat. I cheated more than I cheated.
Right.
And these was the issues. These were the things I've done to fix those. I went into therapy. I read a lot of books.
You had to go to therapy.
Yeah, I went to therapy. Like
it was that bad.
And because for like I felt like I was maybe a sex addict or something.
Okay.
Because like it was how much I cheated. Like
to where one woman couldn't fulfill that need.
Yeah, but it was based around my ego. And how I validated myself. Because I was no longer fighting, so I was no longer Gilbert the fighter, right? So I was like, I validated.
So you needed to be validated somewhere,
right? And I didn't know it at the time. Like these are things that you're going through actions, and you look back like, why did I do that?
Right.
A lot of times that I did cheat, and once again I told Erica all this. I told her all this. The mistakes that I've made in the past, I was like, I wasn't even enjoying it. But I did it just because it made me feel important. It made someone multiple people wanted me. You know what I'm saying? Like it validated that I was someone to be respected. It validated like my manhood.
That's interesting to get into the psyche of that man with that mentality.
And then we could break it down to being a black man too. Like you and I had this conversation on why black men cheat. And I think like we are faced with a lot of different things that I think other men from other cultures don't face. And I break that down real quick. One, I think black men are the most overly sexualized people out there. And like we always look, he's very physical, he's super athletic, the myth, right? And all those things, like you see women that would say, I only date black men. Or I love me a black man. White, Asian, Latino, of course, black.
And you think those women say that purely from a sexual perspective?
Right, because we bring. I mean, I'm not saying other than black don't have some of the same qualities, but these are the things that have been put on to black men that we are over sexualized. Sometimes they look at us like we're just sexual beings. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So that's one. Two, as being raised in a household that didn't have a marriage or a relationship to learn how to deal with temptation. Like my father never sat me down and taught me how to deal with temptation, how to be in a relationship.
Right, but at some point, you know what I mean. You grow up to where you know what's right and what's wrong.
No, you don't, because because you understand what I did learn was I learned from the homies in the corner, from the OGs in the corner, and they teach you one thing, teach you two things: fuck bitches, get money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
right.
you raised our whole life, you hearing the music, watching the videos. That's what's ingrained in your head.
Right, but at some point, you get to the point where
okay,
maybe I wasn't taught right.
So
maybe they were wrong.
So now, being a black man, we're over sexualized, and then we are not raised. And also, being raised in the hood, you are introduced to a lot of things early.
Right.
You're introduced to violence.
Mm-hmm.
You are introduced to poverty, and you are introduced to sex very early. Like I started having sex when I was 13. Okay. Like it was just a normal part of the thing. Like it was something like sex to me is not a big thing. It's like a handshake between me and a female. So.
Well, okay, so let's be clear here. So infidelity is a choice.
Right, 100%.
Right? It is a choice.
100%.
And it's a choice that you chose.
Right.
But I've sat here and I've heard you essentially blame it on you not having a choice. You blamed it on environmental. Mm-hmm. You blamed it on the lack of structure in the home. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, you made that choice. Right.
And I had to deal with those consequences, mm-hmm. right? So the problem is that I didn't realize the consequences of my actions. I tell you something that happened for real. There's nothing that changed me besides my whole therapy and reading books. Mm-hmm. So you know about this. So my ex-girlfriend, and I'm not gonna name no names, but I'm gonna be real with this. Mm-hmm. Like she broke up with me because I cheated on her.
Right.
And then she ended up sleeping with one of my students.
Right.
During the time we was broken up.
Right.
Right. So she could do whatever she wanted to do, but like damn, she smashed the homie.
Right.
Right. And that devastated me. Like I ain't never really been cheated on.
Did it devastate you because of him being the homie, or did it devastate you that she went somewhere else?
It was because he was the homie. Because she told me that she was with someone else. Yeah. Because we kind of got back together for a little bit.
Didn't bother you?
Yeah, it didn't bother me. She was like, actually, I thought it was like pretty funny because she hit me up one night. She's like, hey, can we be, fuck buddies? And I was like, what's up? She's like, well, I'm tired of having bad sex. I said, I know what happened. You went with someone. You got some bad dick.
You wasn't me.
Yeah. And now you coming back home to daddy. You know what I mean? And it was cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? She could live her life. But then when I found out who it was.
This motherfucker.
And you know what I'm saying? You know how that whole drama came about and everything was really, really ugly. But to her credit, she was single. She could sleep with whoever she wanted to sleep with. And I did cheat on her multiple times. So she could do whatever she wanted to do. But I was hurt.
Do you think she chose him because of his relationship to you? To hurt you specifically?
You know what? She would say no. She's like, she just connected with him and like it happened organically. Yeah. I think that it was kind of like a little stab back at me. I think it's a little bit of both. I don't know. But the fact is, like, I felt that pain and I said to myself, I never want another person to feel the pain that I felt. Because I've never been cheated on.
That pain was that deep.
Bro, you see me. You see me devastated. I couldn't sleep. I was so hurt. I you know what I'm saying? Like I've done some things that I've had some consequences because of that pain. Yeah. So I understand the consequences and repercussions of of infidelity on both ends. Being the one that's cheating and being cheated on.
But that wasn't her cheating.
Technically it wasn't, you're right. But it felt like it. and because it was a little bit of a 2 to 3 month break.
I know you ain't with me, but how dare you?
Yeah, right. Like
how dare you go out there?
You got the whole Colorado Springs. Why my homie?
Right,
I mean, he wasn't my homie, but he was like one of my students. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like it hurt, man. Like and I learned a lesson. She taught me a lesson. Like I think it's one of those things she could look back on. I'm like, you deserve that, and maybe I did.
All right, we'll move on past that. I want to get to, you mentioned it before, your ego. Yeah. Right? Now, you're pretty brash. Right. Would you say, your personality is pretty in your face. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Do you think you've made more friends or more enemies with that approach?
I mean, I think I made more friends because I do have some enemies. I don't know if I call them enemies, but obviously some people that don't think very highly of me. But like, I think most people understand my honesty. I'm a direct person. Like you're gonna know where you stand, and I'm also gonna say, like, I don't shake hands of people that try to fuck me over. Like if you fuck me over, it's fuck you today, it's fuck you tomorrow, it's fuck you forever.
Okay.
And like, and I think if more people understand the consequence of the actions and not thinking they could just get away with things, and everybody be all hunky-dory with you backstabbing people, I think we have a more real community.
So you don't necessarily believe in being the bigger man?
No, I mean, being the bigger man.
The other cheek.
No, I can be the bigger man. In other words, I'm not gonna fuck you up. Cause there's some people that you call the name out, and I have some really harsh feelings for them. And if I saw them, and if they said 2 words to me in the wrong way, it's gonna be a problem. But I do see them, and I'm like, you stay over there, I stay over here. You do your thing, I do my thing. We don't need to cross paths, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah. So, I asked that because I want to get into a couple of beefs.
Yeah, sure.
Gilbert Smith has, but we'll do that after this commercial break and a sponsorship by Colorado Combat Club. We are back live on Too Much to Ask with Gilbert Smith. Right before commercial, we mentioned gym beefs. Right? Yeah. You have a couple of beefs with a couple of gyms here locally in Colorado. One, the local gym out here. What is the beef between you and C's MMA? C's.
Honestly, man, I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. To me, they I almost said some shit.
Say what you gotta say, man. It's not too much time.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna try to be professional. Honestly, there's no beef. Like I don't know anything about them. I don't know anything about them.
But there was some tension.
They called my son and I out, and it was like, cause they trying to book a fight with my son, and we was like, yo, we don't want to fight their guy that comes from Vegas. It's not even really their guy. But anyway, this guy was like a black belt. He's a college level wrestler, but he had no fights.
Right.
And my son was like, I don't want to fight someone that's debuting. I'm like 3-0, 4-0. I need to fight someone with a record.
This is an amateur fight.
Yeah, amateur fight. Like we trying to build up. We want more experience.
Right.
My son's first 2 fights was against debut guys. Okay, no more debuts.
No more debuts.
Okay, let's fight someone on the record.
Right.
So we said no. And then he went online and was like, oh, Gilbert Smith and his son is picking fights that they know that they can win.
So you're saying they started?
Yeah, they call us out of nowhere. I'm like, fuck you. Okay. Like, you talk about me, it's fuck you. You talk about my son, it's like, fuck you forever.
So you don't consider that typical promotional talk? You consider that personal beef?
Yo, I've never had any issues. Like people, like, they're a bunch of, I see, man, you about to,
come on, say how you feel.
You're like, listen, how many fights they turn this, like, I say, yo, I got my boy Joseph Hurt, fight him. No. Okay, other guys with my son, turn them down. They turn down so many fights with our guys. The one time we say no to them, they want to call us out. Fuck them.
So they talking smack to you about you not taking their fight,
right?
While they're turning down fights.
Exactly. So it's crazy. Like, it's crazy how they are so local. They're right next to us. We have never fought each other. In all the years they've been in business. There's only been one fight that we turned down. Okay, so we've been offered multiple fights. We offered them multiple fights and they turned down.
And now it's I can feel the tension.
Yeah, they're gonna have to see it sooner or later. They're gonna have to see it sooner or later. So you keep running your mouth. You have to see it sooner or later.
Okay. And I want to talk about another event that I was at specifically. You had an altercation. You had 3 guys fight on a card, right? And all 3 won, right, I believe. And you were entering the cage after the fight for one of the fights, and you made a gesture to one of their corners. I'm talking about a family affair.
Oh, man, dang, you're taking it. I was like, well, who are you talking about?
Right.
We actually had 4 guys win that night.
4 guys. Excuse me.
Man, this dude, man, he talks crap. Like, it doesn't matter if my guy win or lose. We will walk up to the other opponent, shake their hand, and say thank you for taking the fight.
But that didn't happen that night.
No, he got in because he felt like his guy won, and he was talking trash. Oh, they suck. The judges this. I'm like, yo, can you respect the fighters? Like, the fighters have nothing to do with how the judges swing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, just chill. And they did it like early on to like the earlier fights because we fought them a couple times that night.
Okay.
By the time the end of the night, I was like, yo, I'm done with this guy talking. what I'm saying? Like, yo,
because he was upset with the way the judging was going.
Right. Like,
Okay.
yo, if your guy is good, he'll beat us. If he's not, then he'll lose. And, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, take that angle, bring it back to the gym and make him better. But don't sit there and disrespect my fighter.
So then what happened after that last fight where it kind of came to a head and it spilled over into the
My guy won. I turned him. I gave him the double bird. But bird. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I only have so much patience.
Okay.
Like I try to be professional. I try to be all the bigger guy. But
so by the time that last fight came up, you were over it.
I'm done. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. Okay. And then since then, have you guys been able to speak offline about it, or you just?
Nah, you know, honestly, since then, like we really don't cross paths, honestly. Like they don't really take fights with us anymore, and we just kind of like move on with our lives. Like, I'm not saying to hold grudges. I'm not saying to berate and look for people and to fight. Like, it's over. I don't care.
Okay.
Bigger fish to fry.
And that's it. That's you.
I don't hate anybody.
In
I
a
mean,
nutshell.
you know, like listen, you don't like me, I don't like you. Let's move on. You do your thing, I do my thing. We've been in the same corner. He's like sitting over there, I'm sitting over here, and we doing our thing. We don't need to talk.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cause drama in your life. Don't cause drama in my life, and we can just be adults.
Okay. Okay. So what is something that you would like people to know about you that they may not get from social media or they may not get from this podcast? What's something that you would like people to know about you?
I'm a complicated man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
You would
feel
like people to know that you're a complicated man?
yeah, you know, people like to put, like, they put you in a box, right? They like to say, oh, Gilbert is, oh, he's cocky. He's like always promoting himself. He's always walking around without a shirt. He wears these tight pants to show off this, show off that.
Right.
And they don't understand, like, you know, I mean, I just do that because I feel comfortable, but like, I have my insecurities. You know what I'm saying? I've been hurt. I could cry. Like I'm a complicated man. I'm complicated in, like, as a person, as a fighter, as a coach, as a boyfriend, as a father. You know what I'm saying? And to prejudge someone without even having a conversation, does it go, I don't like him. Like, you don't even know. Like the things I've done in my life, my accomplishments that I've done, like, you got to respect that. And at the end of the day, I'm always here to help anyone. Mm-hmm. And people don't judge you on that. They don't judge how many hours I give to people that are not paying me, like you know, off hours trying to help them live out their dreams. They judge you because you see an Instagram picture with your shirt off.
Right. I mean, let's be frank. You do have a lot of those.
Listen, man. I look at it like a Ferrari. You buy a Ferrari, you work your ass off. Mm-hmm. You went to school, got a great job. You did everything you needed to do to afford that Ferrari, that car that you want.
Right.
But every time you drive around the block, people talk about you. Oh, he must be overcompensating for something. You're like, no.
No, I think if you drive around the block every damn day.
I mean, it's your Ferrari. You can do that.
Yeah, but nobody buys a Ferrari and then puts 100,000 miles on it.
Well, listen, if that's what you want to do. So now, because people look at you a certain way, you got to park your Ferrari in your garage. Like, no, I want to drive that thing.
I get that.
Okay, so like, this is me. Like, I work my ass off to have a decent body. I don't have the best body. I got some love handles.
I mean, I would say decent body from like the waist up.
Right. Right, you think.
I mean, no. And not talking about that. We're just talking about legs. We all know that. I mean, I don't know what the camera's able to see. I'm pretty sure it's not able to see how tiny your hamstrings and.
Okay, that's a lie. I got big thighs. I got small calves.
You skipped leg day since high school.
Here you go. Listen, see what I mean? And like,
you got big calves. There's on episode 1, our boy Dylan Killer King. Mm-hmm. If you saw that, you couldn't see him, but Dylan is my size. We're both 5'9", 145, 50 pounds. Mm-hmm. Gilbert is 5'9", 200, 210 pounds. Yeah. Both of our calves are bigger than yours.
That's a lie. Me and Dylan measure our calves,
and his was bigger.
No, mine was bigger. We measure.
If we ever get to
we could, after this done, we could measure our calves and go live and do the video. We measure our calves. My calves are probably bigger than yours.
You only worked out chest and triceps.
Okay, all right. Anyways,
you see what I mean?
See,
that's why you didn't make it as a bodybuilder.
This is another half black man trying to knock down, a black man. You know what I'm saying? So I understand. It's easier light skinned coming out.
Okay. Well, in all seriousness, getting back to it, what, if you were able to discuss, is something in your life that you would take back? What's something that Gilbert Smith regrets? If you're able to discuss. If not,
Yeah.
but I would really like you to give the viewers something personal about you that you regret, that you would change if you could.
I think I would. I think I do regret some of my infidelities.
Some of them. I mean, I'm not trying to pick on words. I did hear some.
Right.
Some of them you're like, nah, that bitch deserved.
No. I do regret cheating on some of my exes, man, because like I don't think anybody deserves to be hurt like that.
Okay.
I think when you commit yourself to someone, you should fully commit yourself. You should have that level of respect and honesty to communicate your wants and needs. If you need a little bit of extra, or if you need to step away and say, hey, this ain't working out. But to go behind someone's back and to lie and to be deceitful and to sleep with someone else, which could cause a lot of things, you know, a lot of problems. I think that was something that I regret and something that I put a lot of effort into change with my current relationship, because I do not ever want to hurt the woman that I'm with. Like, Erica means so much to me that I never want to cause her the pain that I've caused other people. So I you know, those are things I regret. But I also could say, maybe I needed to go through that, you know what I'm saying, to understand like that action, that feeling. Like, I don't think I don't know. But I do regret how I conducted myself in relationships. I wish I was more honest.
So you're saying that those previous women needed to be stepping stones for you to become the man that you.
Someone is always someone else stepping stone, like, you know what I'm saying, like, but no, I mean, but
I'm joking.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to say it like that. All women are beautiful. Shout out to the ladies out there.
But those was lessons that I learned, and it made me a better man, and I'm grateful for that. You know, I know some people have felt pain from it, so I don't want to like be disrespectful in the sense of like, you know, I'm doing better because I hurt you, but I gotta take some good from the bad.
Of course, of course,
know?
And that's how you grow. That's what growth is.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wrap it up here. I want to give a shout out to the sponsors, Alpha Black Label and Colorado Combat Club, and our special guest here, Gilbert Gigantor. I'm gonna leave it at that since you like that one.
Yeah,
Gilbert
it's original.
Gigantor Smith. And on an episode of Too Much to Ask, tune in next week for the next episode.